Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and in this video we're going to be talking about working with the Creator's energy. Now, through the past couple of months, there has been some very radical transformations that has been taking place within myself. It's going past a lot of the common paradigm that we understand relating to spirituality or common New Age understandings or anything of that nature. And it's coming into a greater understanding. It's coming into a greater ability that each and every single one of us have. Very few of us are actually talking about it. Okay? I'm basically talking about all the communities, spiritual experts, psychics, intuitives, channels. Very few people actually talk about what I'm actually going to be talking about today. So in order for me to give you more of a grasp about what I'm going to be talking about, we're going to look over some of the basic understandings that we find in New Age or spiritual circles in that way. So here's the circle of the common spiritual knowledge. So there's the idea of the self. Okay? There's the idea of love and light. Okay? There's the idea of manifestation. That's a big one too. Then of course, there's the subject of oneness. So we have self, we have love and light, we have manifestation, we have oneness. And again, these are big topics in their own way, and they're important topics. We want to look into the idea of, yes, how we can harmonize with ourself. And I have over 700 videos on my channel that talk about that, right? So there's no absence of information with that. You got lots to explore just with this topic alone. And of course, we have the topic of love-light, which again is another important topic. Love is indeed the most powerful energy there is. When we're working with light, we're working with that power, we're working with energy, we're working with information. Love, light, very important, yes. And of course we have manifestation. So we can look at that as law of attraction, of course. To me, that is a distorted law. As Adronis would refer to it, would be LOC, law of coherency, okay? It's on my channel, look for it, okay? Law of coherency, you can find Adronis talking about that. And that would be more of a completer aspect as it relates to law of attraction. But again, we look into manifestation principles as well too. And of course, we go over to oneness, that all is one. One is all is one. That it's all about connecting to the oneness of ourselves and being able to realize that we are all interconnected. For this too can bring about great transformation, great understanding, brotherly, sisterly, interconnectedness. Yes, that too is true. All of these are important, of course. But this is what we find very commonly within the spiritual circles, hence the circle itself. We're missing a very crucial point here. Something that's more crucial than all of these put together. And it's right here. It's in the middle. But what is that? Creator. Okay? That is the most essential part of everything that represents spiritual practice, spiritual development, spiritual upliftment. You have to look at this. You have to look at the Creator, and you have to look at the nature of your own soul. Okay? Because guess what? Your soul came from that. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. Your soul came from the Creator. Okay, so we can call it Mother, Father, God, we can call it One Infinite Creator, we can call it Prime Creator, we can call it the One, we can call it the Divine One. Any name you want to call it is fine. It doesn't matter, right? But what many of us do is we stick with these four principles and think, well, that's it. That's the most important part of what we are learning here, is to look into the nature of myself, how to harmonize myself, how to work with myself, being able to develop myself, being able to get my act together, being able to really live a fulfilling life, being able to help others, right? So we can look into the idea of self and others, other selves, right? That too is part of the polarity with these two concepts, self, other selves. And of course, then we're looking into love light, right? How can I be more loving? How can I bring my compassion into the world? How can I help other people? How can I receive downloads, receive the light of knowledge, of information? That's important as well too. How can I do this? How can I make that a greater principle within myself? Yes, that's important. And of course, we have manifestation. Oh, law of attraction, law of repulsion, magnetics, law of coherency, etc. What can I bring into my reality? What am I able to shift out of my reality? What can I bring into manifestation through my life? Yes, that too is important. And of course, we have oneness. All is one is all. We're all interconnected. We're all part of each other. Yes, you are. No one's debating that, okay? All of these are true, 100%, okay? But again, you're looking at the spiritual surface here. This is just the surface. This is the surface of a sphere. This isn't enough, okay? When you're looking into the idea, and I'll basically look at it as a type of foundation here, okay? So here's the idea of self. Here's the idea of love light, which I'll just put love. Manifestation, which I'll just put as M. Oneness, of course. But when we look at this is a prism and not a pyramid. Okay? We're looking at a prism here. The self, love, manifestation, oneness, and of course self, we have the material world. Right? So I'll just put matter. Okay? We have the material world, and within the material world we have intellect. Intellect rules the material world, okay? And of course, intellect is probably the weakest part of our minds altogether, okay? Oh, Brad, what are you talking about? Well, when you look at intellect, what is intellect good for? Intellect is only good for helping us to build what we understand, okay? It's preconceived knowledge, it's preconceived ideas. That's what allows the intellect to shine so brightly. It's not to say that intellect is a bad thing, but it's the densest quality of our minds. It's the densest quality of ourselves. This isn't even really looked at when you return back into source consciousness, when you return back to the Creator. No one cares about intellect, right? It's so valued in our culture, in our civilization, much upon the world today, but it's pretty much useless, right? It's not important. Anybody can be intellectual, right? You dedicate yourself, you commit yourself to practice, to skills, to traits, to all of these things. You start putting things together, you start building. Sure, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's enjoyable, it's convenient, but it's the lowest part of our minds. It's dense, right? And that's not even what we look at when we're coming into these higher understandings. So what about the rest of the prism here? So I'll add this one also to the prism of matter, of intellect. Well, now we come to the tip of the pyramid, and that represents God. Okay? This is it. This is where God is, at the tip of the pyramid. Now, some people don't want to hear the word God, okay? I was one of those people. I was raised as Jehovah's Witness from birth all the way up to 17 years of age. And I really didn't like the word God, right? It was so distorted. So many religions have contaminated that term. I really did not like it until recently, because I was able to work to heal a lot about that aspect of principle pertaining to God. Not from how the idea of religions use that particular term. Because what is it that represents God? Well, here's the definition of God. Tetragrammaton, okay? Which basically is what you would refer to as geometry, sacred form, right? That which represents the geometry of all of creation, the form of all creation, the entity of all creation. That's God. That's what God is, okay? So You are not going to move up into the higher levels of consciousness past the idea of all of these, simple understandings relating to self, love, light, manifestation, oneness, etc. That's not the highest level, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. These are, again, surface levels. And they're important, as I said. They're an important foundation. But many people in the spiritual, New Age communities always look at the idea of oneness being at the top of the hill here. That you just have to connect to one, that we're all things, we're all one. That's not an empowerment, guys. It's not an empowerment to think that you have to constantly look at this. This, too, also represents a distraction. Okay? Oneness is important, because we are certainly interconnected. But again, many of you will say oneness because you feel that that's going to bring you into a state of harmony. What is it that makes oneness together? Well, we look at this symbol. Okay? That's the idea of oneness, right? I could even paint this area black here, right? That's the idea of oneness, the yin and the yang. You have to understand that oneness contains bliss, but it also contains fear. Also contains malevolence. And of course, it contains love, joy, bliss, etc. It's all of those things together into a state of oneness. But when you're trying to feel like you are embodying yourself with oneness, you can't do it. You can't embody oneness into yourself. Try it. Go ahead. Try and embody oneness. Everything that you feel reality is. Go ahead. I'll wait. You can't. That's why this is one of the biggest distraction-based teachings there is. Okay? Like I said, oneness is important. We are all part of the one. We are all interconnected. There's no doubt about that. But again, people will cling to this like it's their savior. They will cling to oneness like this is what is the most important thing there is. There isn't. Because you have not given a form to oneness. You cannot get an idea of a grasp because it's so broad, it's so vast, everything that we understand reality to be, all life, all living bodies, everything it is, the planets, the heavens, the ethers, the energy, the love, the light that surrounds us, all part of oneness. It is, but you have no form for that. You can't relate to it. This again is why so much of the spiritual community is so unbelievably contaminated. Right? It's one of the most contaminated communities there is. I've been looking into this community for 10 years, right? Looking into a lot of what has been talked about. Self, love, light, manifestation, oneness, etc., law of attraction, law of coherency. They're all important. Yes, they are what is. But that is not giving you the true nature of what you can become when you're up here, okay? And when I'm saying that you're looking up here, I'm not talking about religious context, okay? I'm talking about creator, okay? When you come into creator energy, you become a vessel for the creator, for the mother, for the father, for the divine one, whatever you want to call it, okay? So I'm just going to clear all of this out. Again, these are essential things that we need to really look at. Is being able to look at the top of the pyramid, because that's where everything stems from. That is what's going to bring you into your true vessel capability as you work through the Father, as you work through the Mother, as you work through the Creator, okay? It goes back to an old saying. It is not I, but the Father that worketh through me, right? It is not I, but the Mother that worketh through me. It is not I, but the Creator that worketh through me. That's it. Not too long ago, I was able to go into deep meditation, and I was able to receive a connection to one of my angels. And they came to me and they asked, Brad, would you like to go see how your soul was born? Of course. How could I turn that down? And so I went up into the higher levels, see myself just kind of climbing up. It was almost like going through clouds. It was really nice. Right? And I was able to come into this void. This beautiful void where again there was columns of light, just like almost like a light womb, you could say. Okay, and around me were these angels. Okay, angels were coming by. They were just beautiful, they were colorful, different rainbow spectrums of color, various colors. But it was like looking at a living womb of light, right? And I'm being told this is the womb of the Creator. This is the Creator's womb. This is where all souls themselves propagate. This is where they are created. This is where they're born. And I could term these angels, try an easier manifestation of an angelic being here. I would refer to them as midwives. Okay? They are midwives for the Creator, and there are countless angels, and there are countless souls. Yet every midwife angel takes a soul once it is born from the womb of light, and they hold it. And that's what I was looking at. I was looking at my soul. I could not find anything within my soul that was relatable. It was a clean consciousness, right? It was a clean slate. But I could see this angel just carrying my soul, and then there was like a vortex matrices here. And my soul was deposited into that vortex matrices. Once it was, nothing else, right? Complete and total blankness. Because what I did is I left the womb of the mother, I was deposited in that vortex matrices, and then everything was blank. Just like how we have that blank moment as soon as we leave our mother's womb. There's just a blank moment, and we come into a new world. Well, that's exactly what happens. You move into the dimensions of the new world, of a new universe, of new experiences, etc. And now your soul is born. Your soul is born from this womb, from this beautiful womb of light as well, too. I was also told by somebody else after I shared this story on Facebook that they said, yeah, I found this commonality in a book called The Journey of Souls, right? And there was a person that described it exactly as you did, Brad. Brad, did you read that book? No, never read it. I've heard of it, but I've never read it. So I found it a great synchronicity. But there again, this enormous womb of souls. And there was a particular point where, that domain, that dimension, you could even say, was completely filled with other souls. When I was there was only a few of them, right? There were other angels going and grabbing other souls as well too, but my focus was on my soul when it was created. And then again, seeing this angelic midwife coming in and depositing myself into the vortex matrices. And when I saw that, I'm like, my Creator, I love you. I saw how I was born. I saw how my soul came into being. And it was through this beautiful love. It was through this beautiful compassion where this soul was being born and brought into this whole experience. And when you see that, when you actually go and you see exactly how your soul is born, and you just sense the pure love that comes when your soul is born, you have nothing but absolute love for the Creator. You have nothing but absolute compassion, and you just give everything that you are to the Creator, right? To one infinite Creator, to Prime Creator, to Mother, Father, God, right? Whatever you want to call it is fine. Doesn't matter. But the whole idea is that you are looking at God as a form. Okay? You look at the Creator as something that you can relate to. In my previous videos, I was talking about one of the biggest things about growing and developing yourself psychically as a channel, as an intuitive, is being able to have relationship, okay? You cannot have relationship with oneness. You can't, okay? It's not the ultimate state, guys. Do you know that there are realms of consciousness that go beyond oneness? Oneness is not all there is. It's all that we believe there is. When you go up past oneness, you come into Creator level. You come into Creator energy. You come into the Father. You come into the Mother. You come into the one infinite Creator. That is when you create the form of the Father, of the Mother. And now you feel that entity, that connection together between yourself and the relationship of the Creator to you. And now you start to form that relationship. The Creator puts its essence upon you, right? His or her essence, its essence, whatever you want to call it. When that essence of the Creator is put upon you, you therefore are a vessel to do the Creator's work. Okay? This is not about Christianity. This isn't about Catholicism. This isn't about Anglican. This isn't about any of these other religions. Okay? Because really, when you look at the common followers in those religions, they're not even close to having this. Okay? No offense to them, right? Because here's what much of this old system has basically done as it relates to religion. First of all, does anybody know what religion actually means? What its term is? Why do we call it religion? Take a moment to pause that, right? Look into that. Well, one particular concept that is quite strong remains a definition to say that we remember. We remember who we are. We create a religion to remember ourselves. Not to put so many dogmas and doctrines and beliefs and controls and thinking that my God is better than your God and your God is better than my God. Everybody has the same Father. Everybody has the same Mother. Everybody has the same Creator. There are no other versions of the Creator. There's one version. Now, the Father, the Mother, has many faces, right? So you can see this entity embodiment of the Mother, Father, but that is your own face that you have assigned to the One, okay? This is what brings us into the higher levels of consciousness. This is us following the path to the Creator, okay? This is known as the Creator's path. Okay, it goes beyond the oneness path, goes beyond the manifestation path, it goes beyond the love path, it goes beyond the self path. Of course, we all look into the idea of the self-realization that we are God, okay? Now, in a way that is true, right? Because that's a path that I've been following for quite some time as well, is the idea of saying we are self-God. In a way, we are. But the whole idea is that if we rely upon ourselves just to be self-God, where we feel that we ourselves have all the answer, without actually connecting to the Father's, the Mother's realm, we're not going to get that much information, okay? Where Adronis used to exist in the 6th density, that's as high as you can go for as long as you focus on this, okay? If you're focused completely on the self-God, you will not be able to go past 6th density, okay? So what the 7th density includes is the angelic realm, okay? The angelic, the oversoul realm, servants of the Father, servants of the Mother, servants of the Creator, okay? That's what angels are. It's exactly what they are. The angels, the archangels, the oversouls, they all represent servants of the Creator. All of them. Okay? So if you're following an angelic path, you're talking to Archangel Michael, he'll tell you the same thing. Archangel Uriel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, all of them will tell you, we are servants of the Father, of the Mother, of the Creator. That's why we exist in the way that we do. We do the Creator's bidding. We do the Creator's will, right? Well, Brad, come on. Are you saying that I'm not a self-God? You know, are you saying that I don't have this ability? No, of course you have great ability because we are sons and daughters of the Most High, right? You have a great phenomenal ability. Humanity is indeed the most powerful race there is because we were propagated from that is the Most High, right? We are propagated from the Father, from the Mother, okay, from the Creator. We are the living children of the living Mother, Father, Creator. That's who we are. So I'm not saying this, guys, to blow smoke into up your butt or whatever fancy term you want to give it. I'm telling you this because this is how it is, right? Like I said, I was very much on this plane for quite some time. I was very much on the self-God path. I was very much on the oneness path for quite some time. And like I said, it's a powerful path. You can learn a lot. You really learn to humble yourself walking that particular path through the idea of oneness, manifestation, love, self, intellect, material, etc. There's a lot to learn within that particular space, but that's not all to learn, okay? Those are the basic building blocks, okay? That's what's going to create the foundation. That's what's going to create the prism. If you do not have this here, you will not have a pyramid of yourself, okay? You'll be a prism, and you're only going to go so far, okay? So it's very, very important that you are learning through this video how to work with the Creator's energy. Okay, like I said, I'm not saying all this to throw in some religious doctrine or anything of that nature. Because like I said, I don't agree a lot with religion. I never really have, ever since I was born. I thought the whole idea and the concept of religion was absolutely ridiculous. And in many ways, I feel it still is. Has not grown up at all. It does nothing but follow ledgers. It does nothing but follow words that have been written down. And here's what many of those people in the religious context do. They worship pieces of paper. Okay? This is their God. Pieces of paper, scrolls, written ledgers, garbage. If you want to look into the idea of the true Creator, you go right here. Okay? You go through love. You go through compassion. Okay? It was Jesus himself that said, all of these commandments that you write down are nothing more than dead stone. All of these words that you write down are nothing but dead stone of the law, right? And he just thought this is all garbage itself, right? It was through the living knowledge that brings a person closer to the Father, that brings one closer to the Mother, to the Creator, okay? It is not through this crap about the idea of thinking that you have to write things down as a scribe and just follow what's contained upon that piece of paper, what's contained on that scroll, what's contained in that written stone. This is all based upon the idea of it being template reality. Okay, we were getting templates, yes, from great prophets, from great people, and they had a lot of great information. But again, religions distorted a lot of that information. Look at Jesus' teachings. Was all of it, beautiful teachings, but again, completely sanitized by churches, by the inventions of corrupt religions. This has nothing to do with the living knowledge of God. This has everything to do with the written knowledge of man. And it's crap. It's garbage, okay? Now, when a person is able to understand that they are actually working with the living Father, the living Mother, the living Creator, every particular form of action, every aspect of thought, every feeling that comes through them flows through a state of love. And this is something that you have to train yourself to do, right? This is something that's, completely beyond even what the spiritual circles are commonly teaching. I'm not saying all of them do that, but a lot of us relating to the spiritual circles, right? And the basic four concepts, right? And we miss this. This is the most important part. Right here is the most important part of it all. Because now when you start working through the Creator, you are now able to do what the Creator does. Because you have dedicated yourself to the Creator. You love the Creator. Because that's the parent to your soul, right? That's the true living parent. Okay, that's why they call us the sons and daughters of God. Because we are. Okay? Sons, daughters of God. Children of God. That's who we are. That's how we were created. We were created to do the Creator's will. Not our own. Okay? Not our own. That is what we have been taught. We have been taught to feel that we must do man's will. Okay? We have to do the will of man. Man's will has no power whatsoever. It doesn't know how to create. All it does, and everything that represents man's will, is intellect. Because this is how we were being taught through many other beings, you could say, that pass themselves on as gods, right? You have to do this, and you have to do what we say, and you have to follow this doctrine, you have to follow this dogma, and you have to do this, and you have to live this kind of life, etc. We basically were created a rule book, right? So we can imagine a big rule book right here. It's not the best drawing, but bear with me. Right? We have all these pages. So here you go, humans. Here's the rule book. We call this rule book quite commonly the Bible. Right? So again, religions were once like the governments of our world at some particular point back in the past, the ancient past. The aspect of the church was part of our governance. That's a really bad looking book, but I apologize. Gotta get back to my good quality drawings again. But again, we have been taught so much about that this is a rule book and this is what you have to follow. This is your moral energy, humans. This is your moral will. Here is this book. Follow it. Even though you have passages that contradict each other. Right? Follow it anyways. You can't, right? You can't follow what this book represents. It's all distortion, really. There's small elements of truth, of course. But again, it's all mixed together with command, with the idea of demand, with the idea of doctrines and dogmas. All of that, even stuff that contradicts everything else. You can't live off that. That's not the idea. As I said, when you follow the Creator, you follow the Creator's will. You follow the Creator's heart. Your heart now becomes the heart of the Creator. Your will now becomes the will of the Creator. Your thoughts now become the thoughts of the Creator. Your feelings now become the feelings of the Creator. There's nothing of you that's mixed there. Well, Brad, can I still see my personality? Of course you can. When you're moving up into the higher levels of consciousness, you don't lose yourself, right? Take it in this particular context. If we are working together with our fear, with our hate, right, with any other emotions that are within our being, and for those of us who have done our inner work and have been able to clear that out, did we forget about those events where we felt fearful, where we felt hateful? No. But we have forgiven it to the point we have risen above it. I remember the time when I was fearful here. I remember the time when I was hateful here. But I've cleaned it out. I've assigned it new meaning. So how is that forgetting yourself? Right? You don't forget about the fear that you have. You don't forget about the hate that you have. What you now remember is love. Because you have not scrubbed this out of your memory. You've only risen above it. And that's the nature of yourself. You're never going to forget your fear. You're never going to forget your hatred. You're never going to forget all of the stumbling stones, all the stumbling blocks that brought you to where you are. But you've risen to another level because you have put new meaning in those things. They're no longer a ball and chain. They're now seen as feathers that you have been able to transmute and move up. But you remember your journey. You do not forget your personality. Your personality is with you for the rest of existence. You're never going to lose it. Okay? Your soul has a personality. It's a unique type. Okay? It is a fractal, right? Among an infinite amount of fractals. And when I'm talking about fractals, it is not about the idea of fragments. It is not about the idea of bits and pieces of the construct of the Creator. No, it's a fractal. Okay? That's really what your own soul represents, is a fractal of the divine. But you are a living construct, a living soul, a living energy, a living consciousness that was produced by the Creator. And that when we look at ourselves here, nice little stick man again, we have veils around us. These veils create the illusion of separation. They create the illusion of division. The more that you peel away these layers, the more and more and more that you are coming closer to the divine. Okay? You are peeling away layers. And now, well, Brad, how do I work together with the Creator's energy? You want to build a relationship with the Creator. Everything that I've said about building a relationship as an intuitive, a psychic, a channel, right? You are creating relationship. You cannot have a creation of relationship that's just like this. That's etheric, and we have no form to it. We can't relate, right? Yes, of course, there is a formlessness within ourselves, but we can't relate to that. We can't relate to this. There's no rapport with this. When we go to God, we go to the Mother, the Father, the Creator, we have rapport, because that's why God is known as the living God, right? It is a living form. That's what the God represents. The Creator represents. The Mother, Father represents, right? The parent of your soul, but also a living God. Someone who lives just as you do, who has an idea of form just as you do, a consciousness just as you, an entity just as you. That's what you're relating to. Now, when you have the Father, Mother as a form, because religion says, oh, you're not supposed to look into the face of God because you're not worthy. BS. You are always worthy because you are the son and daughter of the Father. You are the son and the daughter of the Creator, the Mother, right? That's who you are. You are never unworthy to look at your own parent. That's like saying a mother who has birthed her child. A couple of years passed, and that child must go like this every time she tries to talk to her mother. That's stupidness, right? No. The Father, the Mother, the Creator is your parent. Okay? As a child, you didn't avert your eyes from your mother and your father when they needed to talk to you. They were always telling me, hey, look at me, look me in the eyes. I want to tell you something. And you did. You know, it's saying, no, Father, no, Mother, I'm not worthy enough to look at you. And that is garbage. Okay? And I will tell you that straight out. You want to see the face of your Father. You want to see the face of your Mother. Okay? Because there are many faces of the Father, of the Mother, of the Creator. But there is your specific face that you assign to your parent. Okay? One presence, many faces. That represents the Creator. Okay? Everybody has a different look for what they feel the Creator, the Mother, the Father is. So when we work with the Creator's energy, we are now in alignment to working, dedicating our love, dedicating our hearts, dedicating our will to our parent, to our Mother, to our Father, to our Creator. And now we can feel that essence coming upon us. This is exactly what Jesus did. He did not say that he is the only Son of the Father, right? He says that he was the Son of God because he was the one who was able to embody God's will. He was able to do what his Father wanted, or to do what the Mother wanted, to do what the Creator wanted. That is what he committed himself to do. That's how he was able to do all of these extraordinary things. You can do the exact same thing. This is what Jesus was teaching. He was not teaching about a religion of Christianity. He was saying, through me, you can go to the Father. And in order for you to do that, you must be like me. Right? Ye are the sons and daughters of the Most High. You are the sons and the daughters of the living God. Okay? He did not come here to create a religion. He came here to show you the truth. He came here to tell you the truth about how you can connect with the Mother, Father, Creator. Because many religions were not doing that. They were, again, authorized by pompous, blind-hearted, black-hearted people. And he came and he wanted to set all of this straight. As he said, I did not come here to bring peace on earth. I came here to bring a sword and to cut away the issues that a son has with his mother, or a daughter has with her father, or how in-laws have conflicts with themselves. I'm going to cut that away. And I'm going to show you exactly what you can do to go back to the Creator, because that's what you're made out of. That's who your parent is. That's how your soul was born. Your soul was born through the Creator. Okay? So when we embody that form of God, the Creator, the Mother, Father, we now start to feel different, right? It's like what I've talked about before, is that when you're in that state where you're doing divine will, now you're thinking not of the personality, but of divinity. You're thinking, you're feeling, you're doing, you're putting action upon, you're manifesting in the way of the Father, of the Mother, of the Creator. And that is the Son and the daughters of God doing God's work, doing the work of the Father, the Mother, the infinite Creator, the prime Creator, the One, the Divine One, etc. Anything you want to call it. Okay? So this is a long video, but I want to show you guys this because I'm going to start talking more about this. This is only just scratching the surface about this. But this is what completes your pyramid. This is how you're going into such prosperous, beautiful, divine levels of creation. That again, if you are, not looking into the idea of the Father, where you're again feeling that you are on a self-God path, that's your choice. You certainly can be on it for as long as you wish, for eternity if you want to. I'm not here to tell you any different about that, right? If you feel that this is where you need to be right now, then be there. But again, that's only going to take you so far, because you cannot do the true work of what the Creator does without being able to embody the Creator's essence within you. Guys, this is how I do spirit codes. This is how I do spirit light work, right? I do it because I embody the work of the Creator together through me. And this is what I've really always wanted to get back into. Because when I was younger, I knew there was a God. I knew there was a Creator. But I never wanted to represent Him through these delusional religions. I never wanted to go through that. So this is what I'm understanding now. This is my next level. With me being able to work with the spirit codes, I'm bringing in a lot of synchronicities of working together higher with Creator consciousness, with Creator energy. So you start to work as the Father, you start to work as the Mother, you start to work as the Creator. You start doing things, again, that are not of your own will, but of the Creator's. And Brad, how do you do that? By forming a relationship with the Creator. By feeling them, by saying, I need love, Creator, please give me love. So all work that's being done through you is being done through the Creator. It's not for you to do it. You remember when I started talking about working with your Legion? Summoning your Legion, that you have something within yourself and you give it away to the Legion and the Legion takes care of it, right? Same concept here, but on a much grander scale. You're now telling the Creator, Creator, I have this anger within me. Please help me to completely purge it from my being. Let it be so. Done. Because now the Creator has decided to work with you. You're no longer on the level of spirit guides, loved ones, angels, ascended masters, archangels, oversouls. You are now at the top of the pyramid. You are now working with the Creator. There is no one more powerful than the Creator. You are a thought of the Creator. You are part of the mind of the Creator. You are an invention of the Creator. The Creator exists through you when you are willing to bring the Creator into your life. Okay? So this is looking at it from a very universal perspective, not a religious one. As I said, it's not about religion, other than the idea of its true meaning, which I erased, but again, it is remember. It is remember or remembrance. That's what true religion is, right? So have a true religion that's undistorted by Christianity or any other form of that degree, and come into the true religion of yourself, working with your parent, working with the living creator. All right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Namaste, and may the Creator's essence be with you always.